And so data is key indeed on the road to recovery, so is industry. Our next guests have played a crucial part when helping companies and factories migrate their IT to support workloads during quarantine. They'll definitely speak from experience. With me in studio, Laurent Laporte, you're the CEO and co-founder of Braincube.
Hello.
And live from Bonn, Andre Christ, the co-founder and CEO of LeanIX. Hi, Henry.
Hello. Hello from Bonn.
Hi, Bonn. We're still in Paris. So learning from lockdowns, indeed. So mid-March, both of your clients had to reroute their entire system to adapt to lockdowns. Can you stop or delay an entire factory overnight? Is it even possible to do so, Andre?
Well, I mean, obviously not. I can only tell for some of our customers, they have been pretty challenged with like the whole workforce going into remote work first. So I have an example of the government of Yukon. They had to shift all their employees, and they actually then built up quite interesting capabilities to keep in touch with their workforce. So yes, they had to come up with creative solutions in a few days only.
Laurent, again, I mean, it's not possible to make this happen overnight, but you definitely had to help your clients when it comes to being locked down mid-March. So which solution did you use exactly?
Our customers have been very happy about what we provide during this crisis, because we were ready for 100% remote. The SaaS solution in cloud really helped them to operate. The blue collar stayed in the plant and they had to operate, but with the edge solution and the communication between the cloud and the edge, they could receive instruction and the staff could keep on doing their job doing this. So it has been a kind of a proof of this new architecture, and going on to the SaaS model probably is a new strategic architecture.
Yeah, SaaS means agility, if I hear you loud and clear.
Agility and availability for everybody all the time. And so this crash test showed that some of our customers, and particularly in the food industry and the packaging industry, they had a massive increase of their sales during the lockdown, and they could keep sustaining a support to their team while having system available at their house when they were remote. Yeah.
So, I mean, being remote actually gives me another question to you guys, both of you in Bonn and here in Paris, because do we have to think hybrid by design from now on, meaning that, of course, part of your staff will still be remote due to COVID policies, but a lot of the other part of the staff need to be back into the headquarters or firm or facilities you need them to be to actually produce and be back to production again. So can you think, both of you, about IT solutions that are going to manage this hybridity from scratch from now on, Andre?
Yeah, I think it's for us, what we see with our customers is that there's a lot of employee centricity now. So we have all been talking a lot about user experience. I think it's now all around employee experience. We in general help customers to actually understand what their IT landscape looks like. So in basic, with LeanIX, customers understand what business applications do they have, for what are they used, and which of them are critical. So especially in these days where parts of the workforce is actually working from remote, it's important for those customers to understand, do those IT systems actually, are they accessible from remote at all? Or do they have enough bandwidth to be accessible? That's one big theme we're seeing in this hybrid mode. The other big topic, which we're obviously seeing, is that there's a lot of load right now on the support desk. So people all around the organization, they're requesting new software. So people are requesting, like, can I have this tool because now I'm working at home? Can I get another tool? So it requires to rethink how you can provide this knowledge about what applications are actually available for what purpose while people are in remote mode. And as one example, we were inspired by a customer who has set up a portal so that employees could actually look up what software is available and how can they benefit from it. And in April, we actually decided it's a good point in time to start building it and building it into LeanIX. So now every customer gets what we call a self-service portal. So with no code, they can give all their users a platform where they can understand what software is out there. And from there, they can actually start triggering an order process. And surprisingly, it's actually right now the numbers of requests for new software are going up. And in light of the whole downturn, it's important for the organizations to keep managing that in the end, you don't end up with thousands and thousands of redundant tools in the organization. So that's one of the things where I think a good visibility of the existing IT landscape is super important these days.
Absolutely. Sounds flexible and scalable to me. Laurent, how about Braincube? Again, when it comes to the hybridity of systems, we definitely have to think from scratch from now on. How will your solution help in the near future?
I don't see the digital transformation as a traditional IT project. Mm-hmm. So Andre was saying that it's about the people. In fact, it's about the usage. So if you draw your vision starting from this point of view, then the architecture will follow. And so you will try to get to this usage as soon as possible to deliver the application and to help the people, to augment these people. And I think the key is there. The key is not to think as a traditional IT approach. When we look at what happened to us, we had 22,000 different users a month before COVID. With the same number of customers, we jumped to 38,000. It's plus 80%. So it's like people crying, we need this type of solution. And we are just covering some of the needs. So yes, I think hybrid will be the result of this new thinking.
There you go. So now, again, gentlemen, I want both of your perspective on what can appear to be a new buzzword in the ecosystem? Resilience. But we actually do need resilience these days, and IT systems that are going, and infrastructures that are going to be resilient enough to take in charge the amount of data and workloads we have to migrate into systems. So what does resilience mean to you, Laurent, first?
When I think about resilience, there are three things I think about. Is first, the right market, then the right offer, and the right delivery system. Mm-hmm. So it appears to some of my customers today in some industry, they are not in the right market anymore, and it's a big challenge for them. What about us and our solution? We have different verticals in this market, so we can adjust, and we did adjust during this COVID, going from more food and more chemical industry and probably less automotive industry, for example. The right offer is still always a challenge, but we have offers that the people like and we can still improve. And the delivery system, we were forced to change the delivery system, doing consulting at the customer, going on site to make the connectivities, layers and things. We were able to develop new ways to deliver this, and this is part of the resilience for the company. Today, we can start a plant in China without going into China, a plant in Australia without going to Australia. We were about to do that before, but it forced us to make it happen. So we are probably more resilient, and some of my customers showed a lot of resilience, but other ones are in trouble, and we hope we can support them in the future, yes.
Well, let's see, Varys is a pretty good driver of transformation to me. Andre, how can we actually build resilience in the making?
Well, I think to refer to one point Laurent mentioned before, I think transformation is a big topic, and some of you probably have heard that for some organizations, the COVID crisis has accelerated digital transformation from maybe months and years into a few weeks. I spoke to a couple of customers. They had plans to roll out Teams or Slack or other solutions to kind of get them more agile in the organizations, from like months or quarters down to maybe just a week to get that ready. So we've seen that has been squeezed into a few days. However, if you look closely at the success rate of transformations itself, there was a recent McKinsey study which says that 70% of transformations actually fail. So there are some reasons for it. First, companies start unprepared into it. They discover the constraints and risks of the existing architecture too late. And they have no way to actually track the success of what have they done as part of changing their landscape. So they might have a good plan in the beginning, but then it's like hope until everything is executed. So I believe it becomes much more important not to sketch out what a transformation should look like, but more rigorously actually track the execution of the transformation. And this is an area where I believe companies can become more resilient against change, because it's no longer that you come up with a 3-year strategic plan, but it's more like you set out a strategic direction and then you start executing against it, and then you can adjust on the way because all of a sudden you're much more resilient against any other macroeconomic change.
Great point here. Now we're going to have to put an end to this discussion, but first, before we do so, I want to have your perspective on what we can call the restart mode right now. There's a trend now in Industry 4.0, which is definitely thinking about merging AI and IoT solutions to better foresee hiccups on the value chain, or to better anticipate whatever problems can actually emerge on the production line or industry. What's your take on this? I mean, do you believe in AIoT, which is kind of definitely weird to pronounce here, but do you actually believe in this model that is going to merge better AI solutions and IoT?
Probably when we had this first vision about AI for our industry, we had a broad vision. We thought that we could connect and probably build systems that can solve a lot of solutions. And on the long way, we see that AI is better when it's very specific. So we designed some application for the staff that are more big data application, where they have the time to use and to get insight from the systems. But the demand is going closer and closer to the operational technology, the OT. And our customers start to specify needs. They start to believe that it's possible to have assistant with AI embedded that will help their people, the supervisors, the people on the floor. We just released end of September a first assistant for the people that will not be analysts, that will not be engineers, and that will come and solve problems like, okay, my machine is starting to generate some non-quality. What is the setting I should consider on the and this is with some layers of AI. You have some machine learning BI, but it's super simple to use. So probably the future will be like the autonomous car. We thought the car like doing everything by itself, and it's not here, but we keep on improving layer by layer some of the applications. So go back to the ground and probably specify some application for the people, and will be close to the operational technology. AI can really help on this, yeah.
So 50-50, probably more of the answer.
Yeah, probably.
Andre, final word with you. Can we actually merge AI and IoT? And is AI a magic trick?
Well, I tend to be quite careful about it, and Laurent said it perfectly. I think it's needed to have specific use cases. I like some of the use cases where you have actually enough data to draw meaning from. I see too many cases where companies do descriptive analytics or advanced analytics and not like really doing some of the machine learning which you would want to do, because the data sets are simply too small. So I think there are great applications, especially in those areas where you, for example, do more or better routing of support tickets. You are smarter in evaluating if a problem, a support ticket needs to raise in the priority, or where you correlate events from different sources in your IT architecture. So make meaning of alerting in the one hand side, or application performance monitoring in the other hand side, and bring that together to make meaning out of that. So I would like fully agree what was said before. It's important to be specific about the use cases, and I think that in the longer run, those applications will succeed and help us.
Thank you very much, Andre. Thank you very much, Laurent, for those perspectives. And we're now coming to an end of this IRIS Day 2020.